All right. Good Monday morning. A beautiful day. Sun is already shining. All the animals are out, and I get to head to work. Oh, my beard has gone down. All right. What's a blabbermouth today? You know what? I'm going to talk a little bit about these NBA playoffs because I like basketball. I can't talk to anybody about basketball. So, here it goes. Let's start with round one. This year, of course, 2023. Bucks and Heat. I was pulling for the Bucks in the East just because I like Giannis. Giannis is an old school superstar, wants to do it his way, by himself, hit the team that drafted him, stick it out, do the hard times and not the hard times, but wasn't his year. The best record in the East and got knocked out by playoff Jimmy. What the fuck are you gonna do? I mean, that guy, Jimmy Butler, Jimmy Buckets. During the regular season, I mean, maybe he's all-star caliber, maybe. Playoff time, I swear he's like Michael Jordan. he's out of his freaking mind. I believe he steps it up about 10 to 15 points a game in the playoffs per average, which is crazy. It's phenomenal. I mean, I don't know how this guy does this. I think he saves himself all year long. But for him to knock off the 1 seed, in the fashion which he did, I think he did it in 6. To be honest with you, I don't think he made it to 7. So anyways, the Heat move on. The 1-8 in the West was, I know it was Denver. I think whoever they played, they just like knocked off. I think it was Oklahoma City, I want to say. I think they swept them. I think Oklahoma City. I don't know. I didn't really pay attention to that series. I didn't think it would be close. And it wasn't. But Denver swept them. And then the Lakers and the Memphis Grizzlies. 7-2. You know, I have never been a LeBron fan. I was a Lakers fan all growing up as a kid. My childhood was Kobe and Shaq. That was the shit. And then it was just Kobe. And then for a while, it was talk like, who's the best player? Kobe or LeBron? Kobe or LeBron? For about 5 to 6 years. They had these little advertisements of like little puppets they would play. There was a LeBron puppet and a Kobe puppet, and they never met in the finals, which sucked. I think the world missed out on an all-time finals if they would have met. Anyways, then LeBron came to LA, and I couldn't get around it. Couldn't wrap my arms around him. Him leading the show. But now, with him as a secondary or tertiary role, behind Davis and Reeves and Russell, and just kind of managing and keeping his breath up because he is older, I don't mind the team. And honestly, they have a hell of a shot. Play that 3 and D. That's what they do. And you got Anthony Davis in the middle, as long as he shows up every day. Davis needs to show up. Get yourself pumped up. Get your spirits up, whatever you got to do. You can't not show up. I'm not talking about physically, I'm talking about mentally. You can't not show up. Anyways, if Davis comes to play every game, I think the Lakers can win it all. They just can't. Now let's go to the Warriors and Sacramento. You know, I thought Sacramento was going to beat them. That Fox, if he didn't get hurt in like the 4th game, I think he got hurt, I think they would have knocked off the Warriors. That Fox is real. He's not a well-known name because he's a West Coast player. He's not really a superstar yet, but he's going to be. One of these years, he's going to shell out in the playoffs. During the regular season, I believe he was number 1 in clutch scoring in the 4th quarter, crunch time. I mean, you can check my facts, but I'm pretty sure he was number 1 in the league. And he did it in the playoffs besides after he got hurt. I mean, I didn't mind the Warriors winning and moving on. It's just we missed out on a good all-time fight. And who knows where Fox could have taken them. Because when he got knocked out, I believe they were in the lead. They were like 2-1 or 2-0 or 3-1 or something to that effect. And then they came back and beat him. I mean, Fox he got hurt, and then he just wasn't the same. Didn't have the confidence. I think he ruptured broke his finger bone or something. It was something to that effect. It's horrible. It really sucks when injuries dictate the playoffs in the NBA. That really, really sucks. I would love for 1 year that every team that made it with their superstars and their crew and their staff and everything, if everything was full strength the entire time, and see what happened. That would be, I think, a great freaking, great playoffs. The playoffs do take a long time. I think that's what one of the things happened with Milwaukee when Giannis got knocked out for those 2.5 games. I mean, I understand they did win one of them, but I just don't think he was the same Giannis. But I digress. I'm still a little peeved about that. Okay. What else we got going in the West? Was there 4 or 5? It was Clippers and somebody. Then the Clippers won. And then the Clippers met, I want to say Denver? No, the Suns. Suns, that's what they did. Clippers and Suns. And then the Suns knocked off the Clippers because they had no Kawhi. And then they had no Paul George. And then they were a Russell Westbrook-led team. So, you tell me what team is going to go anywhere with Russell Westbrook leading the way. Just not going to happen. I mean, I think if Kawhi and Paul George actually stayed healthy, and I think Russell can play as a great medium between them because Kawhi's engine, again, is tough to get revved up, and he was playing pretty goddamn good. But injuries, Russell Westbrook, anyways, KD moves on with the Suns. In fact, they were looking pretty goddamn good until they met that buzzsaw in Denver. And I know years past, they were like 1-out or 2-out. Denver Nuggets, they're different this year. Denver is different. I don't know if Murray's taking another step or Joker's just kind of brought that dominance from the regular season into the postseason, and he just really needs one more guy each game to help him out. Because honestly, he seems right now like the most unstoppable player in the playoffs is Joker. And I don't even like Joker. I'm not a fan of him. I mean, he's good and all, just he's boring. But he might be the most unstoppable player in the playoffs right now. It's crazy. The way they knocked off the Suns, and the Suns were, I mean, they whooped their asses, and it didn't look close. So it's going to be Denver and LA. That's going to be a fun matchup. Davis and Joker. Davis, you got to step it up, buddy. You got to. In the East, with the Heat just knocking off the Knicks after the Knicks beat the Cleveland Cavaliers. I thought Cleveland was going to do better, to be honest with you. I thought Cleveland was going to make a run this year. I was wrong about that. Way wrong. A lot of young talent, a lot of guards, but maybe next year. Anyways, the Knicks stepped it up. They got a nice squad going, a good hard-nosed Knicks team. Typical Knicks team. Just, I mean, good defensive team. Some decent scores, no flashy guys. You bring Dame into that mix, that's going to be a show. I agree with Stephen A. there. Dame, come on, man. Come play for New York. Give them a shot. But he's doing his thing as Portland. I can't fret on him. I like what he's doing. But with the Heat knocking off, just think an 8 seed. An 8 seed in the East and a 7 seed in the West have a chance to make it to the NBA Finals. Both of them in the conference finals. An 8 and a 7. That's crazy. I don't know if that's ever happened before. But it's going to be Miami against Boston. They just knocked off the Sixers. Where the hell was Joel Embiid last night? I mean, Harden, I expect his disappearing act. He does it every time in the playoffs. But the difference was supposed to be Embiid. You won the MVP. Why not put a stamp on it and show the goddamn league that you're the MVP. But instead, you got belly aches and you don't want to show up. Disgusting. Joel, you're better than that. What the hell happened? So now we have the Final Four. We have Boston and Miami and Denver and LA. Now, if by some crazy chance that we get Miami and LA, I think that would be the first time in the history. Whoa, what am I doing? First time in the history that low of seeds would have made it to the finals. Both of them. Yeah, I'm not sure if the lowest seeds ever made it to the finals. I believe a 7 seed has before. I think that was the Spurs in the strike year, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. But plus, probably one of the two most glamorized cities in the country with Miami and LA, and for reporters, it's got to be dream come true. But it should be a good year. My pick, I'll tell you my heart. I want LA and Boston. I guess just because of the history, the historic. I mean, another LA and Boston kind of championship, and then I pick LA to take it. And I wouldn't seem crazy for LeBron to walk away if he wins one more. I know he won't. He said to play with his kid, all this fun shit. But if LeBron were to win one more at this age and then walk into the sunset, it'd be the perfect end. It just would. But that's my heart. My head says Denver, Boston. And I just think Denver is on another level this year. I don't know what happened. I just think they are determined. I think the Denver Nuggets are going to be your 2023 NBA champs. But we'll see. But go Lakers. Davis, show up.